Now, sir, can we start from the beginning? How was it that you planned out a well-thought-of plan to stage one of the biggest, if not the biggest, fistic happenings?
Well, first of all, I had dreamed when we were designing the building that we could do boxing in this building. The Dallas Cowboys play American football here, but in the middle of that star was designed a boxing ring. And the idea of an event and of two men fighting in the ring had everything to do with the board, the lowering of the board, the size of the board, because Manny Pacquiao will be 72 feet high, and it will be perfectly synced and vividly portrayed right above him. And every fan in here will see him in a way that's better than if you see it, we're sitting at ringside. And so that was in our mind there. The other thing is the capacity. For our football games, I wanted a stadium that could allow a lot of people to come in that usually can't afford to come to NFL football games. And that's what we're going to have here Saturday night for Manny, is we're going to have a lot of people here that couldn't have come to Las Vegas. They couldn't have afforded the ticket, yet there will be in here thousands of them at a much less price, $50, to come and watch a fighter like Manny fight, and they would have never been able to do it in their lifetime once he'd reached this level of competition.
The whole of our country, the Philippines, is so grateful for you staging this fistic happening. Now, from here on, what are we expecting from you, sir, insofar as big-time boxing promotions are concerned?
Well, I wish I could say that I've done this a lot. I haven't. I haven't run a stadium like this a lot. This is my first 7 months on the job. That's as long as it's been built. So we really are feeling out how to do it. And we're going to get better at how we do it. I would hope that Saturday night, that the energy and the excitement of having 45,000 people and of having the fight portrayed in here the way it is, I would hope that it would be something that would have boxing and have sports fans everywhere talking about it. If that happens, I don't know if we can ever have anybody in here that has the stature of Manny, but we're going to have more great fights. This stadium, I spent $1.2 billion, and you cannot put anything but the best in here. It really has to be the greatest competitors. It has to be the greatest entertainment there is. If you don't, there's a little something contradictory about that. And so it really lifts not only our fans being able to be here, but it lifts the stature of the stadium to have Manny Pacquiao be the first fighter here.
Now, going into the fight itself, have we sold up the stadium, sir? We have about a couple of days before the actual
Yes, we're down to just a couple of hundred tickets. They told me this afternoon that we should be sold completely out, and we've got a decision to make if we're may have an opportunity here to do some things that we do with our ball games on our decks. And at our ball games, for instance, we have about 32,000 people at our opening game that stood and watched the game in specially built areas like the one we're in right now, those staircases standing up there and looking over the field. And they're having more fun than ones in the seats.
But you are capable of enlarging this.
We are, but that hadn't been decided, and we'll kind of get a good feel for this as the day goes along here today as to whether or not we will do it.
Mr. Jones, after when I spoke to you yesterday, you said you were such a big Manny Pacquiao fan. Why is that, and how did that come about?
It's the way that he's an example to all of us, that he's taken his gifts and he's maximized his gifts. And he didn't get here as the greatest fighter. He didn't get here as an adult as the greatest fighter. He worked to become that. That's what I look for when I'm choosing football players for the Dallas Cowboys.
As general manager?
Yes, exactly. I look for players that have talent and played at one level at their early years in college, but where is it inside them that causes them to be or attempt to be something special? Manny represents that. Everybody understands that in the Philippines. I understand it. You can take that ingredient and you can take it out of the ring, and you can put it in Congress, or you can put it in any place you want to, and it's going to knock them dead.
Was there a certain
It's good
fight,
stuff, no matter what you're doing.
Was there a certain fight that you saw of Manny that you just said, whoa, I got to follow this guy from now on?
The last fight. The last fight, I had a
fight.
keen interest because I was really zeroing in on Manny and Mayweather.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was keenly interested in how that thing took off. And when he finished that thing up, I was really into it.
and just the last question for me, anyways. You know what? Not a lot of Filipinos know who Jerry Jones is. I know we all know you're the Cowboys owner. But can you just tell us, give us a background, who you are, and how did you become to owning the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah. Well, I never thought that I could be involved on this basis. I've always loved sport, had a tremendous passion for it. My father chastised, and I've seen articles where he said, my daughter's going to be all right, but my boy's not going to amount to anything. All he wants to do is talk about sports and football. But the bottom line is that I had great coaching in the sense of life from my mother and dad. And they really gave me a serious